Welcome to DA and DP video. After going through this video, you must be able to state the DA process and the DP process. A documentary collection DC is a method of payment in the international trade in which the exporter assigns the responsibility of payment collection to the remitting bank. Let's see how this process takes place. The importer and exporter agree on the terms and conditions of the sale and purchase contract, and that payment would be made using documentary collection. The exporter ships the goods to the importer. The exporter forwards the documents relating to the transaction of goods to the remitting bank for collection along with the payment instructions, stating the terms and conditions of issue of the documents to the importer. The remitting bank couriers the documents of the collecting bank. The collecting bank informs the importer of the received documents and explains the terms and conditions thereof. The importer gives his consent to the stated terms and conditions of the documentary collection. The collecting bank gives the document to the importer as per the collection instructions, either against payment or against acceptance. Based on the terms and conditions of the documentary collection, the collecting bank debits the funds from the importer's account straight away or on a further specified date and makes it to the remitting bank. The remitting bank makes the payment to the exporter. Now let's look at the type of documentary collection. The DA collection procedure makes use of a term or time draft. A time draft is a foreign check guaranteed by the issuing bank but not payable in full unless after a specified time period. Once it has been received and accepted, these are short-term credit used for carrying trade transactions in import and export. In DA, the documents required to claim the ownership of goods are released by the clearing bank only when the importer has accepted the time draft drawn upon him. Thus, DA is a deferred payment or credit procedure. The importer's agreement is referred to as a trade acceptance. DA terms are usually after sight, for example at 90 days sight, or for a specific future date at 150 days billing of landing date. Some inherent risks involved with DA procedures make them less popular as a payment option in international trade. The importer can default on the payment of goods even after acceptance. In such cases, unless guaranteed by the clearing bank, the exporter would require to institute collection procedure or take legal action against the importer. Time of payment. On maturity of draft at a specified future date. Transfer of goods before payment but upon acceptance of draft. Exporter's risk has no control on goods and may not get paid at due date. The DP process of payment uses a side draft. A side draft is a type of bill of exchange where the exporter holds the ownership of the goods transported until the importer receives and pays for them. After the exporter ships the goods, a signed draft is sent to the clearing bank along with the required document for transferring the ownership of goods to the importer. The importer makes the due payment to the exporter through the exporter's bank before the documents are released and the title of goods is transferred. In case the importer is not able or refuses to make the payment, the exporter has the right to recover the goods and resell them. Even though DP transactions appear safe from the exporter's viewpoint, there are certain risks involved in these transactions. The importer may refuse payment or fail to pay on any ground. When exporter ships its good, it is generally unreasonable and expensive to ship them back. In such cases, exporter is compelled to sell the goods in the original country of destination at a heavy discount and suffers loss consequently. Time of payment. After shipment but before documents are released. Transfer of goods after payment is made on site. Exporter's risk. If draft is unpaid, goods may need to be disposed. The exporter extends credit to the importer for buying goods by using a time draft. The documents are released to the importer to receive the goods upon acceptance of the time draft. After accepting the time draft, the importer is legally obligated to pay at a future specified date. At maturity, the collecting bank contacts the importer for payment. Upon receipt of payment, the collecting bank transmits the funds to the remitting bank for payment to the exporter. The exporter ships the goods and forwards the document of title of goods to his or her bank. The bank then forwards the document to the importer's collecting bank along with instructions on how to collect the payment from the importer. The collecting bank releases the document to the importer only after receiving the payment for the goods. Upon receipt of the payment, the collecting bank transmits the funds to the remitting bank for routing the payment to the exporter. The summary of the tutorial on DA and DP has been put on the screen. I'll pause for a few seconds to allow you to read it.